96 in reverse.
It is 96 in reverse, and you can have the worst of my drink, and we can switch places. Now we are in reverse.
Hello and welcome to 96 in Reverse with your host, Cedric, Nate,
Hello.
Michelle. How's everybody doing
Hello.
today?
Awesome.
Doing
Awesome.
great.
Great.
Doing really well. Good. Thank you.
That's good. That's good. Cedric,
hmm
I heard you were bringing somebody in today.
Yeah, I'm super
Tell
excited about this episode because this person is special to me. We have my sister here, Sharice, and we're gonna be talking
Hi.
about vibration and spiritual connection on this episode, and we're gonna do a little bit of 96 in reverse in it, eh, in the middle of the episode. But I have my sister here, Sharice. How are you?
Hello,
Awesome.
hi
Welcome,
everyone.
Sharice.
hello, Sharice.
Hello.
Welcome.
Girl, I'm not trying to
So,
say your name wrong. It's Sharice, right?
Sharice, yes.
Okay. All right.
hmm
So tell me, girl, tell me about yourself. What do you do? What are we talking about? I hear this vibration stuff. Oh, I'm feeling vibrated right now. Woo! I don't have nothing connected to my chair, but geez,
Right.
talk to us.
So my name is Sharice. I am Cedric's sister. I believe I'm his youngest sister, his fifth youngest sister. I don't wanna
Yes.
We don't know
Wow.
all of them, but we're just gonna
Yes.
give a guesstimate. I live in Orlando, Florida, and I work at a metaphysical center in Winter Park. So that's probably why I'm so deeply trying to find out more about numerology and different frequencies, and also being spiritually more connected to myself.
Mhm.
Other than that, some background history about me. I am from Daytona Beach, Florida, paramilitary, and now I'm here in Orlando just with my daughter, hanging out, getting these last few years in as a single mom. She's almost approaching being a teenager, so just going from there.
Oh, trust
My
me,
baby. My baby.
Mhm.
I know about those teenage years. Trust
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wait. Jackson's not a teenager yet, is he?
Well, he's 13, hitting
Going on
14. So,
14 this summer.
Ah.
geez,
Mhm.
he's like,
Mhm.
kick me out of his room. I don't want you
Yeah.
here. I want to be by myself. You
Yeah.
know, I got my own
Oh.
friends. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Mm.
In a year,
Ooh.
after this birthday, in a year, by next summer, he'll be learning how to drive. I'm like, wow.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Time
Mm.
flies.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, we're already looking at cars and
Oh.
stuff.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my God. And
Oh
that's
my
Yeah.
god, I
crazy.
do apologize. I just clicked the laughing out loud.
I,
I don't
I
know
was
if
like,
you
what
guys
you
heard
doing?
it.
You watching TikTok over there?
Yeah, we heard it.
Yeah, sorry, that's my fault.
I was like, whose laugh track is that?
That's a laugh track? Oh, wow.
Yes, there is.
I was about
But
to say, who has an old TV show playing? That's crazy.
but Cherise, tell us about these vibrations. I heard numbers and all that stuff. So talk to us.
Yeah, so just a quick gist of everything. It's just about numerology and the mystical relationship between numbers and events and things like that. So for
Mhm.
me, my numbers are 333. Almost like every day or even in the middle of the night, I'm always waking up between like 1 and 3 o'clock.
Oh,
Mm,
wow.
And when I wake up, like I'll just lay there, but my body knows what time it is. And then as soon as I look at my phone, it's 3:33
wow.
while I'm at work, in the afternoon, 3:33. And those three numbers represent divine presence, protection, and love. And it's also like my archangels or angels
Mhm.
just letting me know, hey, you need to follow your intuition. You're on a great path. For like strengthening your relationships, spiritual awakening, career success, just things like that. So everybody has like their own numbers that means something to them.
Mhm.
And for me, I love the triple three because it's just I don't it's always just been something that uh even as a child, I'm like, why? I just love the number three. I don't know why, but also working at the metaphysical center, it has also heightened up my senses of okay, I'm seeing the number three all the time. What does this mean? Let me dive deeper into that. Also, I've also started studying different crystals like to have at my home that send off
Oh
different
yeah.
frequencies as well. Right now, uh I'm still learning the names of them, honestly.
So
And I
many.
also had a birthday gift of a crystal as well. But I'm also thinking about getting like maybe like a big hand size one and just placing it in my living room, and then
Hmm.
also getting those crystal sound bowls that send different
Mhm.
vibrations as well through your home, or whatever type of negative energy you're trying to mitigate or things like that. So yeah, that's just a quick brief synopsis of like how or what numbers I love to see, or what represents me and my growth, my spiritual growth right now. Mhm.
Oh, girl, I have questions for you. Go ahead,
Mm-hmm.
Cedric.
That's a
Me
lot. Now,
too.
now going back to the crystals, the only way that I know my crystal, there's a TV show that was called Steven Universe,
Mhm.
and
Mm,
Oh yeah.
each crystal was a name. So it was like rose
Yeah.
quartz,
right.
the other people,
Yeah.
I can't think of the,
Mhm.
Yeah. So
but
good, Chubba. I know.
but you had all of the crystals, and they were called the crystal gems. And
Right.
so that's something that is what you would use for like vibration and um
Yes.
alignment or what have you.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes because at the center that I work at, there's actually a rose quartz flame. It's the
Mm,
largest, it's the only rose quartz flame placed in the middle of the center.
Oh wow.
And it is a representation of love,
mm,
Mhm. Mhm.
because that's like the beginning. Loving
mm-hmm,
yourself is the beginning of
Mhm.
any spiritual awakening. You
mm-hmm,
know, setting aside all early childhood beliefs that were forced upon us, and aligning ourselves with, hey, like your your spiritual being is connected to the whole universe.
mm-hmm,
So not going against any religions at all,
Hmm.
but you are your greatest healer, you are your greatest creator. So sometimes, well, I know the crystals help people with certain healing, certain
mm-hmm,
goals that they want to meet. And
Yeah.
usually I usually put like rose quartz in my hands while I'm
mm-hmm,
meditating, just to get a more of a feel,
mm-hmm,
And I'm not sure because that's something also that I need to also look up, because some people may say, "Hey, it's not scientifically proven that these crystals can actually heal you," and certain things like that. But it's all about the belief system that you believe in and
Hmm.
things like that. So, like I said, I wish I would have studied more of the names, but I'm still like trying to study what type of crystals I would like, just in my home, because while I work at the Meta Center, it's 15,000 square feet full of just crystals, rose quartz
Oh
crystals,
wow.
Wow.
citrine, it's everything. And I feel like my life was aligned to work at the center because being prior military, I was always so stressed out in the workplace. Like I never knew what a loving work environment was, because it's always just like, constant orders. Hey, do this. No matter how
Mhm.
you get it done, it better get done at this time.
Yeah.
We're always working at a T plus 12 schedule. So now it's like I'm working in a loving environment. Everything's stressless. I'm a single mom, so I'm not worrying about, oh, what time am I going to get off? I need to get my daughter and things like that. So it's such a loving and healing experience. And I was telling Cedric before I got hired that um my supervisor who hired me, she said that there were 400 applications for the position, and
Wow.
she's a I'll just say she's a psychic, and she was just basically saying that upon all the resumes, my resume gave off the most positive feedback, not giving off any fake energy or anything. And I loved when she
Yeah.
said that. And actually, the day of my interview, I had dressed up. I brought my work bag. Like, I'm already working here. Like, I'm already about to claim it
Yes.
because I was
Yes.
like so stressed out. I'm like, I'm transitioning from going to school, like, and I'm just gonna have one paycheck coming in, but I need multiple paychecks coming in, at least getting paid twice a month from, my where I work at now. And then I'm also a vet. So, I have compensation through that.
Yeah.
So everything worked out. And actually like a month ago, I was letting her know, like, hey, I brought my bag. I was just ready. I was claiming it. And actually, the other, my coworker, she was like, "Hey, I was also involved in the process of hiring you, and I didn't even know when your birthday was and things like that. Come to find out, our birthday is the same day.
Wow.
Oh
We're
wow.
both like our kids are like
Wow.
the same age. We're
What?
both from Florida and things like that. So there was so many, universal signs. Like, oh my gosh, this was meant to be. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm very grateful for that.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Now, I do have some questions.
Okay.
The
Hmm.
first one that I want to ask is, do you know if numbers change? Like if for now you like
Three, three,
3 and
three.
then yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then later you are like a 6. Like does that
Or like,
happen or do
yeah.
numbers disappear after a while
Yeah, like
and
I
then they
guess if
come
you're going through
back?
something else. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I believe personally, yes, numbers do change for me because I just turned 30 this year. So I'm entering
Hmm.
another decade.
Ramification of spirit. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And there's a 3
Mhm.
in there,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but also I would say another number that I feel like uh right now I'm a part of is sevens,
Oh
because
Mm.
wow.
I
Okay.
guess I guess it's because
Mm.
like in the Bible, okay, God created, or he or on the seventh day he
Hmm.
was done creating the world and things like that. It's something around along those lines, like completion basically of
Hmm.
Mhm.
every. So I felt like between my 20s, I was at a completion of what are some characteristics I share as a 20-year-old was I didn't care about anyone's feelings. I'm just like, I'm gonna be me. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying
Yeah.
being on my own in the world. But there's also me entering a chapter in my life where I am becoming more emotionally stable. I'm taking my
Mhm.
Mm.
emotions out of situations and separating myself from getting upset or angry at someone that says certain things to me. Like, I can handle, you know, um certain situations where I'm not getting depressed or angry
Mhm.
or upset at the other person. So yeah, I do believe that numbers, they do change based off of your experience, which is so good because nothing should ever stay the same. Like, there's always a constant change, and we're always
Mhm.
learning something different in in our journey as humans. And today, actually, I was like, I'm happy to be a part of, to be a friend or a family member of everybody that I know, because we're
Mm.
all on this human journey. Like, every day is new,
Hmm.
Hmm.
So it's like, there's even times where like me and Cedric had conversations, and I'll go back and I'm like, I'm so sorry I said that to you. Cause I was like so gun ho, like, oh, this is right.
Hmm.
But things change. Everything
Yeah.
changes. So yes, Peter, I do believe that the numbers do change, just based off of everyone's
I mean,
experience. Mhm.
they said the only thing constant in the world is change. The only
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think
thing
so.
constant
Hmm.
in the world is change. And I was talking to my stepdad today. Um, um,
Not Peter's dad. I mean, not Peter's dad.
not Peter's not
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 Peter's
Peter's
dad.
dad. Not Peter's dad.
Okay.
not the dad, not Peter's dad.
Yeah.
Um, but my stepdad. I wish it was Peter's dad, but it was my stepdad. um, and we were
That
just
was my
talking, and
thought.
and right, and his, he was saying that one thing I just have to learn is that people will be themselves, and you just have to accept
Hmm.
who they are and where they are.
Hmm.
And if they fit
Mm-hmm.
the puzzle piece, they can, kind of fit or completely fit. You choose to do what you want to do. So, I always tell people, no new experience surprises me. Nothing surprises me now. you know, Going into that next phase, like Sharice was talking about. It's a different frequency, a different level. You graduate to a different level and a different adulthood, a different respect for yourself, I think, mentally.
And it's funny that you say that, Cedric, because there's something about me that I've been doing for years. There are specific people that I tell them, you're going to be in my life for a period of time. And there's
Mm,
people that I never mention that to. And that ends up happening where they're there
mm,
for a period of time and then they're gone. So it's kind of funny though. There's like a pattern of specific things like the crystals. Definitely, I believe on that 100%. Like there are crystals that, they call people in general. And there's like, to me, the other day we went to a shop
Yeah.
and me and Michelle went to a shop with a friend and we walked in there and he's like, there's nothing calling me out. I was in a phone
mm,
call and I heard him say it.
Hmm.
And then I went and I moved some of the ones that were there because I was just in a call, just doing stuff. And then
mm,
he saw this one and he was like, "Ooh, this one is calling me out," and he picked it out right away. But it's
That
funny
actually
though,
happened.
the
Oh, go ahead.
the fact that I was there and I moved that around and he saw that one specifically and he said
mm,
this one is the one calling me out. The fact that I think it put it to me that I needed to be there at that specific time to move that
mm,
in
Mm-hmm.
order for him to see that specific crystal.
mm,
Wow.
So it's kind of funny though that it's true. What were you gonna say, Nate?
That actually happened to me when we went to Salem.
Mm,
We went to an
mm,
oddities shop and they had just a bunch of pendulums hanging together. I was like I I looked at them. I was like, I'm not going to buy a pendulum. I already have 3. I don't need more. But there was one. My boyfriend was talking to me and I was just like entranced by this one pendulum. I'm not even sure what stone it is, but I was like I have to have it. So I got it and I was like, "Yes, this feels right." In my hand it felt right. It felt like it found its home.
mm,
So, with crystals, I believe in that stuff. The numerology, I'm crazy about numerology.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. In my 20s, my number was 11, and now that I'm in my 30s, I just turned 30 this year too,
Mm.
Oh
which
wow.
is funny.
Yeah.
My number is 444.
Okay.
mhm.
Yeah.
So we did talk about this a little bit off off the record, but yeah, so 4:44 at any time. I look at the clock, 4:44. So, Sharice, I'm right there with you.
Awesome.
N-
Awesome.
Now, I do have a question. How does vibration work? Because
mm.
I heard something about vibration. How does that work?
I was going to
Are
ask the
you
same
asking me
question.
here?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so this is I like to think about things in, I guess, 8th grade terms.
Okay.
Hmm.
So so as there's there's frequencies all the time, like that's flowing all the time. So
Mhm.
um when you listen to certain vibration music, like maybe the 528 hertz or the
Hmm.
741 hertz, that is always flowing. Is we just can't see it. The human eye can't see the frequency. It's just like almost like when you turn on a microwave, that microwave is sending certain frequencies to warm up your food. You know what
Gotcha.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you can
based
hear it. Yeah.
off, like, an individual would have to research certain things that they're trying to heal from, something that they're trying to overcome, something that they're trying to obtain positively, study that, frequency. And there's also like different frequency music on YouTube. There's like ones for deep sleep or anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've
depression, and
seen
things
that.
like that.
Yep.
So there's always frequency waves flowing, and that's how we use our cell phones. That's how we use so much technology. So it just really depends on the individual on what type of frequency they want to tap into. Also,
Hmm.
with the crystal sound bowls, some we also have
Yes.
a sound healer at our meditation, and her last sound meditation was 555.
Hmm.
That's something else that I need to look up. Another,
Yeah.
three numbers, but it has to do something with sound healing. So like I said, it just depends on the individual and what type of frequency they're trying to dive into.
Mm.
And you would call those binaural beats, correct?
Binaural beats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. Like I said, I would have to do more of that with the sound healing,
Okay.
right?
Well, we all have to do some research because I'm like,
Yeah.
this is 96 in reverse. Which one is the one for sex then? Because it's not
Right.
Right.
sex,
Right.
Right.
69.
you know?
You already
Right.
know.
But that's just like the eighth grade way, like I think about it. I always try to
Right.
do that because sometimes, when we're trying to explain things to certain
Hmm.
people, not saying that they're dumb or slow or
Mm-hmm.
anything, but that's just the way, like, okay, this is how I put it in, like if a kid was to think about it. But sometimes kids are even smarter than us. So
No,
Mm.
I mean,
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
it's great also that you explain it like that, and I'll tell you why. One of the big things is we are in a podcast, so people don't get to view what we're explaining, or if we put something up in our screens for us to see
Mhm.
it. So the fact that
Yeah.
Right.
you're
Yeah.
explaining it like that, people can get a picture on their mind. A lot of people
Mhm.
can do this. They can get a picture in their mind and have an idea
Mhm.
what we are talking or explaining or anything like that. There are times that, like Cedric earlier, he when he was talking about, you know, talking to people, he did the hand gesture and he put two hands together and he did this, and I was like, what Cedric is doing, I was gonna say that, but it just went over my mind, and
Right.
because the conversation gets so good sometimes, but
Mhm.
Hmm.
I'm like taking it back, like, I mean, I have learned so much in the little time that we've been here,
Oh yeah.
vibrations, like um crystals. I'm just, it's going over my head right now. It's so much
And
going
then
on.
and there's so many crystals. There's so many different crystal names. So
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
sapphire,
Mhm.
Amethyst.
amethyst,
There's one for
um,
wealth.
Labradorite.
There's a
yep,
green one for like abundance. I forgot the
lapis.
name of that one.
Hmm.
Wait,
Mm.
Yeah.
what you
Lapis
said, Sharice?
lazuli.
Hmm.
There's a green crystal for I guess abundance or something like that. I'm looking it up now. But see, that's
Is
the
it
thing
emerald?
too.
Yeah.
Abundance crystal.
Oh, now I have a question. Is
Mhm.
Pearl,
is
garnet.
jade
Hmm.
considered a crystal then, or is it like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Jade
yeah?
is a
That's
No,
another
it's
crystal.
a
thing.
stone. It's a stone. Jade is a
It's a
stone.
gemstone, but yeah.
Is it gemstone?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, well, it's not a crystal.
I mean, if you cut it like a crystal, or I guess you
Wait,
tumble it, it can turn into a crystal.
because you
Because
have a
Yeah.
crystals
crystal
are rocks,
gem and
right?
then you have a gemstone.
So yeah, it's a gemstone. Most of these are gemstones. You got semi-precious gemstones and you got precious gemstones. Precious gemstones sell for more like sapphire, ruby, that type of stuff that you hear about.
Pearl. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Pearl, yes,
The
maybe
birthday
citrine.
months.
Birthday month. Think birthday month.
Mm.
Yeah.
Definitely diamonds and all that stuff. But jade actually has healing properties. I'll say this from like I have a jade bangle. Mostly you see green ones. I have what they call in Chinese and Cantonese. It's called black chicken jade, and because
Mm.
Mm,
it's dark and the cool thing is about what we think in Chinese culture is that it protects you from negative energy. And
Mm.
Mm.
so the
Mhm.
ancient story was that there was a woman and she had a jade bangle that was given to her. And there was one time where she fell from a very high place, I don't know, a mountain or something, and instead of her, she should have been dead when she fell from so high up. But the jade bangle, it broke into
mm,
7 pieces, and it turned, and each one was a dragon. So it turned into
mm,
seven
Wow.
dragons, and those dragons had protected her from her fall.
Nice.
And
Wow.
so sometimes if you ever see people with jade bracelets, almost also good for people who fidget too, or jade jewelry, you'll see
Yep.
them. You're constantly just rubbing it because we also have this idea where the longer you wear it, it will change over time. And so it adapts to you. So we consider it to be like a living stone.
Nice.
mm,
So
Oh.
yeah, so if you don't have some jade, try it out. You know.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
agree that the jade does change because I actually have a jade bracelet. You guys, I just keep pointing to it, but
Yeah.
so it's on red string, and I've
Yeah.
had it since I was 14. I'm 30 now,
Wow, and it
and
hasn't
mm,
broke.
it hasn't broken.
Yeah.
Nothing.
They're
It's
pretty durable.
there's
Yeah.
little lines have appeared on it, but nothing breaking.
You
Nothing.
know.
It's
Wow.
stayed the same.
You know what's.
That's crazy you said that, Nate. Because I have on a red one
Oh
now,
Oh
and
wow.
wow.
Oh wow. Look at this.
rose quartz color, and this was given to me for my birthday by my supervisor, and she was like, hey, this is for you to find love, and to find more love in your relationships and
Oh.
things like that. And I got this in February. So, and then when Michelle was talking about how it changes, first it was tight, but now it looks all worn.
The
And she
same
was
for
saying
me.
that, right, she said that
Yeah.
once like I finally find that, then it'll just break off. So we'll see.
Yeah, I got this one. My friend gave it to me in last month for
Oh,
February for my
nice.
birthday and stuff.
Wow.
And he said that it was just a little drop of because he and I have known each other for like almost 20 years, and he's super, I call him like, the luck that he has is like almost illegal. And that's like a small joke that we have. So when he gave this to me, he said, "I'm giving you just a drop of my luck,"
mm.
to celebrate our friendship and
I
everything. So
love
I was like,
that.
"Oh,
That's so
good."
nice.
Yep.
Mhm.
Peter,
Yes.
we're out of the loop with the bracelets.
I know. We
Peter,
need to.
oh,
We,
you said bracelet.
Out
Oh,
Yeah.
you
of
forgot
the loop with the
some things
bracelets.
on the bracelet.
so it's funny though, because I carry this one.
I don't know how
Yes,
you got
I have
that.
something like that.
Yeah. So it's funny
Yeah.
though. I have this black one. So you know what's funny? We went to New York. Um,
Oh my gosh, the Buddhist. That was
we
funny.
went to
Tell
New
him.
York, and I can't remember how it was. I think the Buddhists put it on me, right, Michelle?
Yep. We were walking down the street, and you just see people on the street, and there was just some
Mhm.
Buddhist monks, dressed up in their garments and robes and stuff. And this Buddhist monk just came and stretched out this bracelet that you see, and just put it over his wrist.
Mm,
Mm.
And then
That's how I got mine too.
yeah, and then that's also when Peter realized he had to donate to the Buddhist monk, though.
Yeah.
So which he promptly did.
Yeah. So I donated to him, and I've had the bracelet since. Um, to me, it doesn't mean anything. I just enjoy it, like putting it on and taking it off and stuff like
Well,
that.
the monk did say it
put it
was
on,
like
take it off.
that it's blessed or
Yeah,
something.
he said it
So
was blessed. Now I'll tell you this:
Mhm.
one thing that I see in common on all of this and everything that we're talking about is that at the end of the day, everything comes back to the earth.
Mm-hmm.
oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
Full
And
circle.
yeah, so there was a person I used to watch on Instagram a while back, and they stopped doing
Mm.
this. I don't know why. Um, but they used to say every morning, get up if you can and walk to the grass and just
Oh okay.
put your feet on the ground and
Mm-hmm.
ground yourself. There
Mhm.
is a lot of people out there who I have seen also that say that they have a wire that goes from their bed to the ground, to the actual ground outside.
Outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh.
to ground their bed like that. they can be grounded. And I'm like,
Mm.
that is interesting. Like, now that I'm seeing the whole numbers, you know, the vibrations, the crystals, and what those people have said, it comes back to the earth, you know? Like all of these were taken from the earth and we are using
Mm-hmm.
it. And there is a saying in Spanish, ashes you are, ashes you will return to.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of funny that all of this is matching to all of that. But at the end of the day, you know, it is how it makes you feel and how
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
makes you change as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you the truth, for a while, my number was 6, but all of a sudden, it has disappeared. I don't know where
Oh
it
wow.
went. I don't know what's going on. My luck is still there. I have great luck, but the number has disappeared. I don't see it anymore or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm at, that's why I asked earlier to Sharif, can that number change or can it disappear or can it
Mm-hmm.
come back? So let's see. I'll tell you guys in a later episode.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, Peter, how you were saying like how people may wake up and go outside to the grass and
Mm-hmm.
place their feet in the grass to be grounded. I was watching a video one time from someone, I forgot the name who, but and I also went to the beach and I was in an elevator with this one older Caucasian lady and we were just having a conversation in Daytona Beach, and it
Yeah.
was early in the morning. She was like, I'm going to the beach, I'm going to take off my shoes because we get that different electricity or vibration when we're walking bare feet. We're
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
even really
Mhm.
supposed to, well, I wouldn't say we're not supposed to have on shoes, but wearing shoes, that rubber disconnects us from, the different type of frequencies as far as when our feet are planted on the ground, in the
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
grass, in the sand and the dirt and things like that. So when she told me that, I felt so connected to that because I was like, why did she even say that? Like I had said, I was just like, hey, good morning. She was like, oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm about to take off my shoe. I'm gonna go for a walk on the sand. Take off
Mm-hmm.
my shoes because we don't really realize like, our we're all connected.
Mm-hmm.
We're all connected to the
Mhm.
universe and nature and things like that. And since I've been working in at the metaphysical center and doing meditations, it's like sometimes when I wake up, I hear the birds chirping even louder. It's like my senses to
Mm.
nature are
It's
so much
connected.
heightened. Yes, it's heightened because I'm getting more spiritually in tune with myself. So I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to point that out, how Peter was like, some people like they're like grounded, and because um the universe, nature, we're all connected. And I feel like sometimes that may be overlooked, you
Right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like, being in the military, I kind of didn't even look at things like that. I was just like, work, 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 work. I got to get this done. I'm not worried about relationships, family, or anything. I just want to work, not even thinking about how wonderful I am as a human being,
Mm-hmm.
my emotional status,
The
everything was
mental
just
state. Mm-hmm.
right, right. Everything was just my occupation, my career, and materialistic things. When I
Mm.
feel that's not what all life is about. It's about that, spiritual connection that you have with yourself to go into the outer world and connect with everybody, because we're all honestly connected in the universe, even with our hair. Sometimes certain
Mhm.
chemicals and things that we put in our hair is
Mm-hmm.
like an antenna for us to connect
Mm-hmm.
even deeper with the universe. So that's one of the reasons why I have sister locks, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not putting as much chemicals in my hair. I'm only using organic shampoo. I may shampoo maybe like twice a month, but my our hair gives off our own natural oils. We don't really
Mm-hmm.
need all of
Mhm.
those chemicals in our hair because it disconnects us from the earth, the universe and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So those are
Mm-hmm.
just when Peter said that, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm glad that you explained that, because there's other things like I'll do with my feet and my hair and my hands and things like that when I'm walking outside, listening to nature, just to connect even deeper. Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I got to speak to this person a while back, um, and he has dreadlocks, and we had a conversation about dreadlocks, and I asked him, I said, "Will you cut it?" And he said no. And I was like, "Okay, that's interesting." And I wanted to ask more questions, and I left it there. And I said, "I'll see him
Hmm.
tomorrow. I'll ask him another question tomorrow." And then a while back, let me jump back and forth in this. Something happened not too long ago with Michelle, and she was stressed out, and her hair started falling off.
Yeah, I have foot
Mm.
surgery, so yeah.
So, and what was it that your hairstylist told you, Michelle?
Oh, Ben. So yeah, I think yeah we talked about this briefly yesterday. That
Mm-hmm.
I talked to Ben. I was like, look, I'm just so tired of having long hair, and my hair is also falling out. I'm stressed. He's like, let's just go ahead and trim it, and like my hair grows fast anyway. So like, and I trust. I don't know if other people have this type of relationship, but I've I've been with Ben since like 2010. Okay, we've got this great relationship. If he moves across states, I'm gonna go drive to go see him. You know, I go to Ben. I can literally sit there and fall asleep, and to have that trust to know that he's not gonna go and do something to mess me up or have me go out there looking crazy.
Mm.
Then it's great. And I like something about going to get your hair done too, getting your hair cut or trimmed. It's like being reborn, renewed and stuff. And like when he cut, I think my hair was maybe down to the middle of my back, trimmed all that off, and I just felt like a new person. My hair, it's bouncy, it's lively again. The stress went away as it's like less of it is falling out. It stopped falling out anymore. So we're good, and I'm just so much happier whenever I get those haircuts because sometimes like more shampoo, more conditioner, more product in general, taking even longer time just to be doing this,
Right.
So,
Yeah.
to try it.
so what I was
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
getting
Mm-hmm.
to with that, and what I'm going to say now is, our body is so connected to everything around us that it knows when you need to release stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Exactly how you go to the bathroom and you release, your body tells you, hey, it's time to shed the skin. It's time for you to cut your hair. Like, your body knows when it's time.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny because sometimes, like, I'll let my beard grow and I can feel it where my body tells me, okay, it's time to cut it because it is bothering me, or,
Mm-hmm.
like my wife will tell me, hey, your beard is long, it's time to cut it, and I listen to her sometimes. And then
yeah, it's
sometimes I'm
it's
like,
when it's when
my,
things start
yeah.
scratching me,
And
on
I
my
listen
face.
to her, but sometimes I'll let it go and let it grow because I feel like my body will tell me, hey, it's time to do
Hmm.
it now. That
Yeah.
wasn't the right time. And it's what I'm coming back to is that that person had told me after we had the second conversation, was that he said, your body will tell you when it's time to do things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like food cravings, just saying, like I didn't know, but sometimes if you're missing certain vitamins and minerals, it would make sense
Mm-hmm.
why you're suddenly craving shrimp or something, like, oh, I just want to go eat some of this or some of that. And it turns out, like, I think Peter and I were like craving shrimp for some reason. I use that
Hmm.
example, and turns out when we looked at it, we were missing like a whole bunch of things that, oh, serotonin. You can get
Oh my god,
serotonin
I was
from
thinking just
shrimp.
about that right now. Oh my god, go
Yes.
ahead, say what you were going to say.
Yeah, because I'm clinically diagnosed with anxiety. Peter has talked about this before. He gets depression and depressed feelings and stuff. And serotonin helps you feel better. And guess what? You did not know you can actually get it from shrimp. I'm like, this is why we've been trying to eat shrimp. So
Mm.
you can get serotonin from working out, okay? You can get it from doing, happy things and stuff. I guess lots
Having
of sex or
sex.
whatever. Yes, all of that.
Yep, that's
You know,
true. I
therapy,
mean, it
everything.
is
Why? Why
96 in
wouldn't you?
reverse.
Yes.
Yes. So, but when you can't have sex, you can have shrimp.
So
So,
it's kind of funny because I was gonna say this. I was talking. I'm seeing my doctor every month, and one of the things is He told me this. It was so freaking funny because I feel like we go through this every month. We have the same conversation where he says there's different ways you can get serotonin, because he says you need more serotonin. He says the first one is like working out. You get
Yeah.
serotonin from working out. Second
Hmm.
one is being happy, laughing a lot with people. You create serotonin.
Hmm.
The third one is doing drugs. Straight
Yep.
up. Like I
He
think it
said
was
do cocaine.
cocaine. He said not recommended, but you can
He
get
said don't do
serotonin from cocaine. I was
Wow.
like, okay, we're not doing that one. So that was funny. Then the last one he said is having sex or masturbating. One of those two. I was like, interesting. So he's like, when your body has that urge of masturbation or having sex with somebody, it's because your body requires a lot of serotonin and it needs it right away. And I was like, oh, did not know that. Learn something new.
Yes, and to keep that same note, I had to look up the frequency for sexual stimulation, and
Mhm.
Yes.
it's
Mm.
417 hertz.
Wait,
And
let's write
Oh.
that down. 417 hertz. Everybody,
yes,
you guys have got that? 417
Okay.
hertz.
yep, 417
Perfect.
HT, which is, hertz frequency or whatever. And it's the brain waves frequency for intimacy, tantric mantras, and erotic bedtime. So,
Oh wow.
Mm.
instead of turning on that R. Kelly or, Trey Songz, let me put on this 417 hertz real quick, to deepen the encounter.
Yeah, the
Okay.
mood, the
Whoever
Right.
sexual
listened to
mood.
R. Kelly, whoever listened to R. Kelly to get in the mood, I'd be like,
Uh,
I might wanna.
Oh,
time.
don't do that.
I
Don't do that now. People still have their ups and downs about, what
They
happened to
do.
him in
Yeah,
court. But his
yeah.
music is the foundation, and probably half of the population,
Was
of a
made.
certain culture wouldn't be here if it
Oh
wasn't for
yeah.
him. So
Hmm.
we're gonna give
Preach
him
it,
his flowers,
sister.
mhm.
but we're
It's
still not,
Preach it, sister. Preach it,
condoning the
sister.
other thing. Yeah.
Yes,
time
yes.
baby making music. Yep.
Right.
At the time, it
Yeah.
wasn't known, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder
Amazing.
about that frequency you just said, the 417 hertz. I'm like, do you have to want it for it to work? Because what happens if I was trying to be like, I don't know, mischievous, and I just go and play it at like a store? Are people gonna start
Ooh.
getting in the mood at like, at Kroger or Publix
Ooh.
or
I feel like it's
something?
all about what you believe. What you gonna say,
Okay.
Nate? Yeah.
So I was gonna mention, it's actually subconscious
Yep.
because
Ah,
I used to do, I had to look it up. It is binaural beats because it is the same thing I used to do.
Okay.
In my 20s. In my 20s, I used to play these like for studying, for
Hmm.
meditation. There's even one for acid because I was curious.
when you drop an acid?
Yeah, there's one
Oh,
for that, and you see everything, and it's
Mm.
so weird. It's crazy.
Like
Um,
psychedelic feelings. Basically.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, that's
And
Mm.
you
then
already seen stuff on
recently,
acid.
no,
Yeah.
recently I actually tried shrooms. Just gonna mention that.
Okay.
And it's very similar to the frequencies that I was experiencing when I was in my 20s. So,
Yeah.
if you want cheaper drugs, YouTube. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to mention it is subconscious because I would do it in my sleep too.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I went on our friend the YouTube, like I like to call it, and I did type 417 hertz. I did not know that the bowl that you do the little circle on,
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
The
that
crystal
is
skull.
417 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So
They're different hertz.
But they're
so
different sizes, right? They're
they're
different
different
sizes that
Yes.
give
Yeah, I
sizes,
different
imagine so.
Yes.
that
but
give different hertz.
the 417 hertz, I just looked it up. We have those chat GPT and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
um, Gives you more serotonin, which activates every single frequency in your body.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
So
Mm.
Mm.
it energizes. Look at me talking about it. I'm getting goosebumps. That is crazy.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
So
You better get that 417
I
on.
know. So it turns on your chakra. It says
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mm.
Yep.
Um,
Mhm.
it does a couple of things. Turns on your chakra. I don't know what chakra is. That's a different
It's the
thing.
sacral one, or the however they say it, sacral or sacral. I think it's sacral
Right. And
chakra.
it goes,
Sacral.
it's like a line.
It's a
It,
yeah,
it,
it's an
it
Yep.
aligns
alignment.
you. There's different
Hmm.
chakras. There's seven chakras. There's one for your
Yeah.
heart, your mind, your
Hmm.
eyes, your mouth, all of that. Yeah, you should look it up.
Hmm.
That's another way
Look.
you can use the crystals to align all your chakras, just depending on the
Mhm.
individual's experience and what they need in their life.
Oh yeah.
So what this said is that they mix 417 hertz with 40 hertz and 3.5 hertz, which enables all the chakras, and
Mm.
it increases the amount that your body needs in order for you to feel better. So I was like, oh,
Mm.
okay. And it depletes all your, it clears all your and negative energy from your
Hmm.
body and
Right.
around you. I was like, oh, now I learned something new.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. And then back what Nate was saying about your subconscious mind, that's another thing too that
Mhm.
crystals help with. Like there's some
Mhm.
subconscious thoughts that we have, like even about, okay, for example, I'll say about money. Like
Hmm.
Hmm.
everybody wants money, but what are some negative thoughts that you have about money? Like if you actually really think about it, some one person might have a negative thought like that they don't realize like, oh, my dad had a lot of money, but he was away from me. So maybe
Hmm.
more money means that I'll be away from my family or away from my child. You know,
Mhm.
it's
Hmm.
little
Hmm.
things like
Mhm.
that we have in our subconscious that if we really focus and write these things down, we can mitigate these negative thoughts and allow more money in our life, allow more
Hmm.
love, whatever you want, you know. So it's not just about the conscious mind that we have to work on. When we go in the inner world, we try to through meditation, you also want to work on your subconscious mind and those thoughts that you didn't even realize that you even had, you know, that
Yeah.
may
Hmm.
be blocking your,
Yep.
you know, more luck in your life, more blessings in your life. Yeah.
There was this movie me and Michelle watched, where
Which
this
one?
person can pull their soul out of their body and see. I think it was like they were able to go to like somebody else's body. I think it was. I
Hmm.
can't remember what was the name.
It's a TV show on Netflix.
Oh no.
It's
Oh.
It's
Is it?
you know what I'm talking
One
about. It,
Division.
it's
No,
no no but
The One
it's
Division did the
He
same
said
thing.
no.
it's an out of they do the out of body experience thing. Okay, what is it called? She could done switch bodies and
yes,
take over
Oh,
somebody's body.
Freaky
Yeah.
Friday?
Freaky Friday.
No, no, more
no.
sinister. You gotta watch it. It's pretty.
This one is
Mm.
Okay.
crazy. When
Yeah,
I
I got.
tell you crazy, crazy. But I believe in
I'm
that
about to
too.
look it
I
up.
believe that you can see, like, that you can, your spirit
Hmm.
with practice, your spirit can come out of your body and you can travel real fast wherever you want and see
That's
it and come back to it. But you have to do it
Yeah.
a
that's
Behind
called
her
specific
eyes.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I feel like we're all spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
this
Mm.
body is just a vessel on earth that we're living in. So when, you know, before we were actual humans and after when we pass away, we're still going to have our spirit, you know,
Hmm.
that ball of light that happened during, you know, the Big Bang or whatever. But that's what usually helps me with dealing with death and thinking about me dying. I'm like, I'm
Hmm.
not dead. My flesh is gone, but my spirit is still here, baby. And
Mm.
that's what makes me so happy. That's why I'm not even afraid of, dying, because you can't
Mhm.
even control it. But our spirit lives on. So it's like
Hmm.
it just makes me really happy.
It's kind of
Because
Fruit,
funny
sister,
because
fruit.
me
Yes.
and Cedric talked about this on the
Hmm.
first episode when we talked about animals. You remember that
Yep.
I said that the animals make a contract with you before your spirit comes to your body,
mm,
and the animal comes to you at the specific time when you need it the most.
Oh, I love that so much.
It's
yeah.
So
true, and that's
No,
true. That's
my
so
pets.
crazy.
Oh no. I got
That's so true,
chills. I'm
Peter.
sorry.
Huh?
I said that's so true because I just had a golden doodle and I was going through a rough time last year.
Yeah.
And when I tell you he got me through so much, and then also my personal, work on myself.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
with puppies, you have to get up early in the morning.
Yes.
You
Yes,
are not
yes.
about to sleep till 10 o'clock with no puppy.
This
You're
is.
gonna
No.
have to get up between 6 and 7 to walk
Hmm.
them. And guess what? 6 and 7, the sun is rising. I'm listening to the birds. I'm listening to nature more. Unfortunately, I had to rehome him because I felt like it was just too much for me. I'm
Hmm.
living
Hmm.
on the second floor. I'm walking him 3 times a day. It was
Hmm.
just a lot with my new, work schedule and my
Mhm.
daughter and things like that. But luckily, I was able to rehome him, and but I agree. Pets come and they definitely make a huge
Um,
impact in your life.
and sometimes they're there just to, do what they need to do and move on to another home.
Yeah, and not
Yeah.
to say like I just use the animal
Oh
or
no, no,
No,
him
no,
just
Yeah,
to
no,
get over
Oh
no.
no,
that.
no,
I
no,
just wanted
no.
to say that because that's what was going through my spirit. Like we're not just using animals because they help us with our emotions, but they really
Mm-mm.
are great. They're awesome. Furry creatures that just give
Yeah.
us so much,
Mhm.
love and
Right. And they're, yeah.
yeah,
I just feel like they're us, but can't speak because,
right.
Yeah.
I was just telling somebody today that our personalities are built on people that we have come across,
yeah.
things that
Subconscious.
we've
Hmm.
picked up as we've gone, oh, this person did, ooh, oh,
Yeah,
auntie, oh, sister, oh,
right.
and
Subconscious.
you,
Yep.
Mhm.
right, and then you become this ultimate Cedric, Peter, Michelle, Nate, Sharice, because you pick up these pieces on the way, and that
Hmm.
I feel like that's pieces of other spirits coming together to create what you have.
Mm.
Um, and giving you the ability to build the next person that come across you. I feel
Yeah.
like I,
Yeah.
I see it that way. I feel like it's an ongoing cycle of building a personality, building a spirit,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
people go through depression and want to kill somebody or what have you because of what they've gone through, how their spirit was built, hey, I want to be a rapist. What happened to this person? You know,
Right.
Hmm.
what it is, what was the 90% of his spirit built of, you
Hmm.
know? Um, and that's how I see it. And I love that we're having this conversation about frequencies and what have you, because the frequencies and vibrations of that person um, can not only travel and you can feel it, but it can travel and latch and it
Hmm.
be and then that person become what I always hear you just act like your dad, you do exactly what your dad does, so
Hmm.
those things can come into fruition uh, when we settle on the vibration of a person when they're coming into this earth, when the spirit is new to this earth.
Okay, so to say two things, um, Michelle found out the name of the movie is what is the name?
TV show.
The TV show
Behind Her Eyes. Yeah.
Behind Her Eyes.
It's
Okay.
yeah, it's a single mom, and she's just trying to take care of her son, take him to school and stuff, and then she meets in her what is it? She works as a secretary at this psychologist or psychiatrist office, and she had just went on a date with this guy, or not a date or something like that, and then turns out that he's married, and then she meets his wife, and his wife start they hit it off really well, they become friends and everything, and so she's caught in this weird place where she likes the husband but she also is friends with the wife, and she doesn't want to betray like the wife or whatever, and so with the wife of that guy of her employer, she teaches her how to she that lady finds out it's like the main character has all these, what are those things called where you have really bad nightmares and they're almost like you're paralyzed, and they
Sleep
some people
paralysis.
There
she
you
has like
go.
sleep, she has like sleep paralysis where, and she will wake up like she can't move, or when she can move, she wakes up screaming, you know, and like sweat and
Mhm.
everything. And so that wife, that lady, she was like, "Oh, I can teach you how to get rid of that stuff." So she teaches her that, and also having out of body experiences. And then that's when a whole bunch of weird stuff starts to happen too, because it can also be used for good and for bad.
That's kind of like Insidious, actually. I don't
Mm.
know if you guys watched that movie.
I've seen it.
Um, but it's like the kid goes into the spirit world, and then there's like demons trying to get into his body. So yeah,
Scary. That's scary. He floated
Yeah.
away.
yeah.
He flew away too far from his body, and then he
Mhm.
seen
Yes.
the red door, went through the red door, and then got trapped.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
it's that
he's in.
concept of, if, like, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
You right.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, because there's the concept that if you leave your body, then who's there protecting it?
Feel empty vessel.
No one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
No
like
one.
fair game, whatever jumps in, you know,
Mm.
unless you
So
protect yourself.
so you know, guys, that I have said in the past that I know a lot about witchery and stuff like that. There is something that
Mhm.
you can do. You put your hands in between here and here. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do the motions and explain them, but I'm not going to say the words. If you put your one hand in front of you and the other one behind you, and you say specific words, then you take the hand that is in front of you and you flip it over your head to the back, and you say enable, and you say the spirit name. It
Mm.
will turn on your spirit, and then you can ask questions to it. Are you a new soul? Are you an old soul? Are you here to do bad?
Mhm.
Are you here to do good?
Right.
Can we
Oh,
switch that? Is there a way to enable that? Is there a way you can switch that to something else? Are you where the person that is the spirit that is with me next to me, that sleeps with me every single night, are
Hmm.
there, were they there with me in my last? Are you my mother? Are you my father? Are
Hmm.
you, like all these other questions in my past life? So,
Right.
and then
Yes.
you have to make sure you also close it back, so you bring the same hand and you pass
Hmm.
it forward and you close it, because if not, you will leave that room open
yeah, it's
to
like a
anything
portal.
else.
So
Yeah, go ahead, Nate.
so it's so wild because
Hmm.
so Pete and I are siblings.
Hmm.
We share a mom. She used to be very witchy. Now she's evangelical.
Hmm.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
but yeah, no, it was a weird jump.
Yeah, very weird.
But I used to actually astral project, which is leaving your body.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
And I was able to speak with my own spirit. So it's weird that Pete's mentioning this because I didn't know that method, but I knew naturally how to do it myself
Mm.
at a young age, you know? So it's so weird that we share so much in common without realizing it.
Mm.
And I think siblings in particular have probably jumped bodies multiple times throughout um their lifetimes, like the past lives,
Mm.
Yeah.
so I feel like Pete and I have jumped together.
Mm. So,
I
Right.
feel like we have.
so l-
So
l- let me say this, and this is a history for me in the past.
Mm.
Um, my babysitter was one of the biggest. I don't know how to say it in English correctly, but she was the biggest witch in New York
Mm.
that did, you know, that worked on, um, what is the proper name? It's not witch, is
I mean, just call
voodoo,
it whatever
voodoo,
what you call it.
Mm.
high
Voodoo,
Yep.
yeah.
priestess,
high
high
priestess,
priestess.
voodoo, and stuff like that. And since I was little, she did a protection on me. There was one time I woke up. I would never forget this. At 8 years old, and there was a chicken killed next to me, There was a
Oh,
circle of blood, and there were a lot of white ladies around
oh,
me with dresses. They were all jumping and singing and stuff. I will never forget
oh
that.
no.
I don't
Mm-mm.
know what they were doing, but I remember waking up in the middle of that
Mm-mm.
process. And I know that they shut me down. I remember that because I opened my eyes and she said something, and it was like, poof, I went back to sleep. That I will never forget. Go ahead, Nate.
When I was 12, I had an experience like that too.
So I think that there is something, you know,
Mhm.
out there that, you
Mhm.
know, that protects me in general.
Mm.
And it was done back in that. There was, I remember there's also on 147, there used to be a shop, and he used to do voodoo and stuff like that. And one time I tried to step into his shop, and he told my mom that I wasn't allowed, that my energy was bigger than his, and that he wouldn't allow me to be in his shop.
Mm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh,
So
okay.
he literally kicked me out, but my mom was fine to go in. So that was very interesting.
I
So
wonder
I,
what he meant.
huh?
I wonder what he meant. Like good energy, bad energy, like, or was he just like, oh, I don't like that you have more energy than I do, or
I,
Yeah,
something,
he
you
he,
know?
probably saw your aura too.
yeah. So
Mm.
Yeah.
whatever he saw, he said that it was more powerful than him, and that he couldn't have me in there because there was
Mm.
too much. He What he said was, there's too much energy in my shop,
Hmm.
and he will take all. So he
Mm.
needs to
Oh,
walk away. He cannot be here. I remember that. He literally, he didn't even get close to me. He yelled it out. He was like,
oh,
Mm.
just get out right now.
it's almost like to protect you, because
Correct.
if you went in there, you would
Yeah.
have been like a black hole that sucked your energy, and
Correct.
then you would
You
have
would have been left with
Oh.
whatever's
nothing
left.
or drained.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
go ahead.
I understood it the other way around,
Mhm.
that
Mm-mm.
Pete's energy was too strong
I
It
thought that
and
too.
is.
would have suctioned everything out of the shop.
Oh
That's how
no.
I understood it.
Until this day, I still don't understand exactly how he
Mm.
mentioned it. He just wanted me out of the
Okay.
shop. Um,
Basically, he's an energy absorber.
Mhm.
We could have
He
went one or two
At least
ways.
he knows
Yeah.
that.
right.
Yeah.
I still haven't been able to discover which of the two. Now,
Mhm.
I have told Cedric before, I protect myself just because I don't know which of the two it is, and eventually one day I'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
know that she gave me beets. I know where they're buried because she told me that I needed to bury them. So I
Oh, the
have,
vegetable beets?
no,
No, you mean like beads? Oh, like
there's
the
Beads.
Oh,
these,
beads.
beads.
Yeah, I
yeah,
thought you said beets like
there's
the
these
vegetable.
beads.
I
I
was like,
can't say it.
headphones?
Sorry.
I was like, she
Oh,
gave you
There's these
headphones?
beads that
bury these
when you
headphones.
do voodoo and stuff like that, that you carry. A lot of people who are like high priestess and all that stuff, and she
All the
gave me
beads.
all of these, and she told me you need to bury them, and I'm going to tell you where to bury them. And I always had them, and I buried them where she told me, and she said, and make sure that it's not like nobody can touch them because they can take your energy or your power, whatever it is.
Mm,
So
Mhm.
I know where they're buried. They're under cement, and there's a house atop.
mm,
So
Oh,
mm,
I know that nobody can touch them. Now, the question that I have is, I know that we have our energy, right? And we know that we can switch our energy. Now, to turn this around, and because this is 96 in reverse, we're not always going to be talking about sex. But in this specific question is, does that mean that if you have sex with somebody, by them coming inside you or by them having sex with you, they can change your energy?
yes.
Yes.
Energy
absolutely.
is
I agree with
I
everything.
that.
think so.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I saw the questions in the chat. You have to be careful who you have sexual encounters with, because not
Mm-hmm.
only are you exchanging bodily fluids,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
the energy
Yeah.
also, because we all have our different, or we all have our different frequency, And if we let someone in with bad energy, that may rub off on us, or the other way
Mm-hmm.
around. Our good energy may rub off on them. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
feel like you really
Mm-hmm.
have to be grounded in what you do. You all were talking about watching Behind Her Eyes and how the TV show on Netflix
Mm-hmm.
and
Hmm.
how it's a thriller. And then Nate was talking about that scary movie, Insidious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
I've been meditating a lot. I used to watch true crime documentaries about murders and stuff all the time
Yeah.
and scary movies. I do not watch those anymore because I am so in tune with protecting my energy.
Mm-hmm.
Opening
That's
yourself
just
up.
how I am
Mm-hmm.
now. And even my partner, like I was like, one time I was like, "Oh my gosh, you don't even watch scary movies," and he was like, "I don't even want that in my energy." And now let me
Mm.
tell you, he's not even spiritual or anything like that, you know. And I was
Mhm.
like, I just started catching on, and before I would love to see something like that, but any scary movies, any true crime documentaries that may cause you to be depressed, have anxiety, I don't even watch things like that. Like I put it up.
Mm.
I used to watch the OJ Simpson documentary that was made in
Hmm.
2016 all the time. I would fall asleep on it.
Oh
And
wow.
something in my spirit was like, you need to stop watching that for you end up like him. Not like
Mm-hmm.
feeling like,
Wow.
a white
Yeah.
person, but
Yeah.
No.
personality. His personality. He was arrogant. One minute he wanted to be black, one minute he wanted to be white. You
Hmm.
know, it's all about what the things that you watch and the things that you think. And I was like, me falling asleep. My spirit was like, you need to stop falling asleep on this documentary. Don't watch no more OJ Simpson documentaries. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Not just that.
Energy is yeah, negative. Hmm.
Not just the energy, it's also going into your subconscious,
Yeah,
Right,
Oh yeah.
that was the
right,
which
other
is
thing.
right.
even worse.
Yes.
Yep,
That
yep.
Yeah.
was I was about to say that, like, when you fall asleep, I have noticed that I have changed a
Mm.
little bit. I used to fall asleep a lot, like watching TV shows and stuff like that. Um, I started noticing something that Michelle and I and Cedric probably has the same thing, because
Mm.
it's me and Michelle's car has a water, earth sounds that you can set up, and you can play
Nature
them
sounds. Yeah.
in the car. Like, you can play those sounds in the car, and it's like
Nice.
for when you have a baby, you can put them to sleep and stuff like that. There's
Hmm.
one that is like a meditation one and stuff like that. And I think that when you fall asleep, I started changing. Let me say this: I started changing to listening to water drops.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Then I started falling to sleep with thunder,
Hmm.
right? And then there was one day I was on Instagram again for the 100th time, that somebody said, when you listen to thunder hit, it's because it's hitting the floor, and it's taking that negative energy and it's going from the top, from your head to the bottom, and it's killing whatever is going through it.
Mm.
So I
Mm.
started listening to a rainfall, and I felt more relief every morning that I wake up.
Nice.
So what I started doing now is I put one of these headphones on. I have these little ones that go in my ear that are very very comfortable to fall asleep with, and I
Hmm.
will listen to, rain with thunder. And when I
Hmm.
wake up the next day, I feel more comfortable, more relaxed, and
Mm.
better. So I wonder if there's, something there, if that's a frequency. There probably is, because everything is a frequency nowadays. But I wonder if there's
Mm-hmm.
something there that water makes me calm. And another thing to add to that is, when I go to the beach, I tell Michelle this: every time we go to the beach, I feel like all the negative energy goes away. I don't know if it's the salt or what.
Oh, the
But
ocean.
yeah, but we usually have a great year when we go to the beach. If we don't go to the beach, we're kind of miserable that year.
Mm.
Um, and Michelle can agree or disagree with this. You tell me, babe.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I think it's a combination, like the sun, salt water, just sand, especially. Just doing all those different things and being in that environment, I think it just helps to rejuvenate you. And I think there are places where you can go to, like even Korean saunas and stuff. They have like a salt room, they have like an amethyst room, a jade room,
Mhm.
different rooms,
Mm.
right? but they have these steam rooms that are literally salt, and they'll say like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, the salt helps detoxify you and stuff." And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like I think I went to this place in Chicago, and it's like a ancient bath spa place, and they literally have this giant mound. Like I'm 5'1", so it's as tall as me, of
Mm.
salt,
Wow.
of like just white mountain Dead Sea salt, and you can take it and you just rub it all over yourself. Hopefully you don't have any cuts and stuff, but everything, otherwise it's gonna hurt. But it just felt so great afterwards, and then of course like your skin's just glowing too. So
Right.
So let me add to that, Michelle. Um, I'm Michelle always asks me, let's go to one of these places, and my biggest thing with it is I can go to one of those places. I have no problem with it, but if it
Mm-hmm.
was put in with the negative energy, that negative energy will be there.
mhm.
The other thing behind it is, you see how I have all these wood panels behind me? These are real.
Yeah,
Nice.
One of the big things about wood, it observes. And a lot of people do not know this, but it is recommended for you to, once in a blue, hug a tree and say, I release my negative energy to you. And what it does is it releases that negative energy and it goes to the roots and it releases
It
it to
kills
the
the
ground.
tree.
No, it does not.
No.
It does not.
poor tree.
It does not. It releases that negative energy into the roots and it traps it there. And what it
Mm-hmm.
does is, with the air hitting it and the sun hitting it, it starts killing that negative energy. And this is something I learned
Gotcha.
years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the beach, and going back to what Michelle said, when you put your feet in the sand, that you feel that warmth is that positive energy coming through you, and then it's getting released. So when the sun hits it, it kills any negative energy that is released out through you. That's why it's so important to me to go to the beach. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the other thing is, when Michelle said the one that she went in Chicago, right, Michelle?
Mhm. Yeah.
One thing that I saw about them is that they have wood planks in the top, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's all wood, marble, and
And one of the
it's
big things
very
is,
nice.
again, wood attracts. So to me, if I go to that one, I feel more comfortable than the ones that are here in Georgia, because that has wood, and I feel that it will attract that negative energy that gets released.
Oh, you'll
So
like it. Yeah.
so that's why I've been so hesitant to go into the ones here in Georgia versus that one that she said that is in Chicago.
Hopefully they create one here, but they got two in New York, so I have to
Oh,
go there.
that's
Yeah.
closer.
Hi, come visit me.
I know
Yes.
that exactly. We'll visit you, and then we're gonna go to the ancient baths. So,
Wait, no, can I
yeah,
go with you guys?
Yes,
Hello?
definitely.
yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to just to piggyback off of something that Peter was saying about having different sexual partners.
Hmm.
Mhm,
Um, you know, for some people it's fun, but just look at some of the music and some cultures that, sleeping around, having this person, having that person. I wish there was a narrative where it's like, hey, like, you want to have fun, you want to be outside, as they say it, but you
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
also have to think about your health.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Um, because I remember when I was so young, I was like, I don't know if I could not, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know if I could not be dealing with two people at the same time.
mhm,
And as I got older, I'm like noticing my body changing, my pH balance. I'm like, because everybody's on their own, frequency, what they eat, and as
Mm-hmm.
women, we take in so much. Like a woman can have something and a man won't even get it because we receivers, that's
mhm,
how
Hmm.
we conceive.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is nothing against people who still do that, but I'm just glad I'm in a place in my life where I'm like, okay, I don't want to be too desperate, but what makes
Mm-hmm.
me not be so desperate is because I want to protect my energy, and it's not in my energy, my health, and my mind. Because sometimes, like when we go through things and we be like, I never, this not even in my genealogy. Why am I feeling like
mhm,
this? Think about all those people that you may have slept with that may have giving you that type of energy,
Mm.
or you know what I'm saying, you don't even know it. Like that's why I feel like um there's mental wars in some people mind, and it may be the very cause may be sleeping with around with a lot of people,
Mm.
or having a negative energy around them and things like that. So I just feel that it's very important. Like I guess that's why they said you got to get to know someone before you actually have sexual intercourse with them, and not, like I said, not knocking anybody who does a one night
Yeah.
stand, because those are fun too. But I feel like, you just have to be, it's some people like they have to experience it to be like, okay, oh, I don't want to do it anymore, you
Right.
know.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So it's just a sticky situation with that. But I do believe it's important to just, just watch who you're dealing with, get to know people, and kind of just, and thank God there's vibrators in masturbation. Because let me
Oh,
tell you
yes.
something. I used to feel bad doing that. And I'm like, why am I feeling so bad
No.
about doing this to myself? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not hurting
Mm-mm.
nobody. I'm
It's
making
self-care,
Mhm.
myself feel
self-love.
good. But it was because
Mm-hmm.
I was part of a certain religion that was like, don't do that.
Mhm.
Why?
That
Yeah.
serotonin level.
Why?
Yeah,
Now,
So
baby.
yeah.
now I have a question,
Ooh.
cuz the questions, I actually wrote them.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So
Yes, she did.
so you were reading my questions. So my question is, you mentioned toys. Does that change your frequency? Because it's buzzing at a different frequency.
It
I
is.
Mm.
assume it does.
It does. Yeah. That's what I'm
I
gonna
assume it
assume that
does.
too, because it is vibrating. And
Mm.
Yeah.
if it's a vibration, it's giving off a different frequency. It's
Wow.
giving
Mhm.
off the frequency of you having an orgasm much quicker than if you were using your own self instruments.
Mhm.
That's what
Mhm.
I'm thinking. But it's, that's a
Mm.
good thing to I love research. Let me tell y'all something. Google is my best friend. So, and
Yes.
Mm.
not just
Same.
looking up anything, but I have my master's degree, so I'm looking at .org, edu,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
things like
Yes.
that, the
Peer
frequencies that I
reviews.
still, yes,
Mm-hmm.
that I still have, because
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
yeah, that's a good thing to look up about, what type of frequency do vibrators and other sexual toys give off. Yeah.
So, for safety reasons, I know that toys come with a little pamphlet that says what hertz each one,
Mm.
each
Mm.
frequency is at.
Yeah.
So that's not even for energy reasons, that's for safety reasons.
True. Yeah.
Mm.
So if you're ever curious, not saying it's
Fuck
not
it. We can look at
possible.
it. Shit.
No, check if it's 417.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yes.
Had no
Check which one
idea.
will get you off quicker, you know?
I mean, look, some toys out
Dang.
there I've seen, like some just get the job done, and some are just like,
Exactly.
why did I buy this thing? Or, like I paid this much money and it's
Exactly.
not doing what it needs to do,
Yeah.
you know?
Like I wonder if the frequency being closer to 417 means, you'll get there quicker. Huh?
Mhm.
Huh?
I don't know if it's something that will get
Interesting.
you there quicker.
No, but like,
Get you in the mood quicker.
Mm, yes,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
that.
get you in the
Mm-hmm.
mood quicker.
I wonder.
Mm.
Might have to do some research. Yeah,
Mm.
You might have to
Possibly.
go to the
Yeah.
sex store and
Possibly.
then start reading the boxes
I know.
and see which ones, and or see if they I wonder if you can have sex toys like the way that you do with crystals, like which one speaks to you. So, you know, I'm just saying, like, I've never thought about it that way because I mean, usually I go out there
All
like, "Ooh,
right,
I like
Crystal,
this
I'm
one.
gonna
This."
put this down here by my
Oh my
penis.
god.
No, not put the
The
crystals, the sex
crystals.
toy.
All
You
right,
know,
another
Okay.
crystal.
no, not the
Not
crystals.
yet. Like
No.
the pamphlet of the I
Oh my
Look at
god.
Natasha. She pulled the booklet. Are you looking at
right.
vibrator?
Or if I was a
Yes.
woman, I'll get two
I
Okay,
where
let's
my
see.
crystals
Let's see
booklet
if you can
photos are
find it. That's a
gone.
good thing to do right now.
Yeah.
to the
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Awesome.
boobs. Let me see
I'm
if I'm
looking, I'm
going to.
While
curious.
Cedric is taking his crystal and passing it through his body.
Mm,
Oh, the cleansing.
Let me see. So it usually is under specification. the FCC statement. You guys continue while I do this.
Oh,
No,
definitely.
I was
So,
just thinking about the time I got electrocuted by a vibrator. So
oh shit.
it
What?
happens.
Ooh,
What?
story
Oh,
time.
Okay, yes,
Oh,
Story
let's
time.
go.
I was just gonna say, just be careful. Sometimes things on Amazon are on Amazon for a reason. I've got good things on. I've purchased great things from Amazon before, but one of them, yeah, you already know. I just
Oh, I
got,
have a
Wait,
story.
Michelle, say it again. What happened to you?
I
she
got
said her
electrocuted by a
coochie,
vibrator.
her coochie was
Yes,
electrified.
yes. So, and the funny thing is, that I didn't know this, but I was watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills one time,
Oh
and when
Lord.
they do vaginal rejuvenation,
Oh
they
jeez.
electrify the coochie on the inside. So I was like, oh, okay. I did. I guess there's
Does
a
it
perk
tighten it
to
up or
this.
something?
I don't know. I mean, I don't have any complaints. So,
I know,
Oh,
right?
so yeah, no complaints whatsoever. So I was like, but
Le-
no, I wouldn't recommend it. That's the last thing you want to be doing is trying to get off and then, like, what the hell's going on?
I cannot.
Yeah, and it actually, yeah, it was weird. So just be careful. Okay.
I love it. I love that
so
conversation because it just came out of the blue. It was like, huh, my coochie got electrified, y'all. God, Lord.
I have a story about Amazon and vibrators,
oh
but
Oh
jeez.
I
man.
don't know how to feel about it.
Go ahead.
Well, did you get electrified?
No.
Electrocuted?
Don't tell me you
Um
got somebody's use.
Burnt?
no. I had to call my mom in cuz I got one stuck.
Ooh.
Was it
Oh
like
Yep.
no.
missing the flange thing, or it
No,
was
it was the
tucked in?
spinning ones. It was one of the spinning ones.
I'm
And he
trying
got
to
So
stuck.
imagine it. Okay, what are we looking at? Is
yeah,
it a
it
Yes.
just
dildo?
it
It just
spins. It spins
it
and like the thing
gyrates.
was spinning and I'm like, I can't turn this off. Mom!
Oh, it corkscrewed. Because if it's just going like
Yeah.
that, it's gonna keep. Oh,
So I had to call my mom
Oh.
and get her to pull it out.
how do you even have that conversation?
Oh,
Well,
Like,
our
that's,
mom don't
I mean,
care.
it's your
She
Our
mother.
mom
It's a
doesn't care.
yeah,
mother.
our
A
mom
No.
no,
mother
doesn't
I
doesn't
mean,
care.
like,
care.
I'm just saying, like,
The
literally, how did you be like, hey, mom, can you come
the
take this thing?
conversation, like, can you? I mean,
Oh no,
Yeah,
I
I
like,
was,
just yelled.
just
Yeah.
My
no,
mom.
dad
like,
almost followed.
Yeah, so
Oh, wait, hold up.
the thing is, a lot of people do not know our mom is she was very open with us. That was the
Yeah.
first
Mhm.
thing.
Good. I love it.
This is one of the
hmm
ladies that she literally told me. She told Natasha never to open this little drawer, but she had it filled with condoms,
Hmm.
and she told me this is your drawer.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Oh, you
mm,
remember the book? Um
the sex book.
yeah, the sex book.
Oh, I
She
love
flipped
y'all
it the
mom.
other way.
Yes.
She flipped it the other way so I wouldn't look at it cuz I was like, "Hey mom, what's sex?" The way she taught me about the birds and the bees. I remember Pete walked in. Mom was like, "I'm teaching her about the birds and the bees," and he walked out. I was like,
And
"I'm concerned." And this woman, God bless her, she just brings out
it's a book
a
like this big.
pencil.
Oh.
No, she didn't do that.
Oh, okay. She brought me a book.
For my simple brain, because I was 8, I was like
Hmm.
7 or 8. She brings out a loose leaf and a pencil, and what she
Oh.
does is she pokes a hole in it, and she's like, "This is you when you're a virgin." Grabs it, grabs the pencil, and then just stabs the paper. And she's like, "This is when you have sex." I was like, "Oh my god, I'm not a virgin because I've been poking holes into my paper in school."
Oh my gosh.
I
Eh,
cannot.
I
I
because
cannot.
I would get bored and just stab.
so you took your own vagina with a pencil and a piece of paper.
Yes,
So
I was
listen,
8.
for me,
Oh damn.
she had a book like this big
That's funny.
that will explain like every section of your penis that will make you like feel at what level.
Good.
We
So
still have it, actually.
yeah, it's probably in the
Oh,
house
that's so
somewhere.
cute. I love that.
Hmm.
Um, and she will give you in detail, like, this is what's going to happen depending on what type of penis you have, and this is what she's going to feel, and if you angle this way. And then she had the Kama Sutra book next to it, and she will say, this is where it feels well for a woman, this is how you get pleasure for yourself. You have to make sure you have her feel pleasure first for her before you have pleasure on yourself, because if not, your marriage will not last long,
Hmm.
because you're
Hmm.
giving pleasure to yourself, and your wife will never feel what is getting the G spot wet. Let's just say it straight up, or her,
And have an
Yeah.
angry partner.
or yeah,
Yeah.
or an internal orgasm. Like, how do you get there? And I know there was another book, but I never opened that. They had a whole bunch of different sex toys and how to use them,
Hmm.
how to
Yep.
use them on yourself, how to use them in your partner. Um, she taught me that at a very young age, because you know you never know when your kids are going to go out there and start having sex, you know
Hmm.
so that was a early conversation we had, like very young, and I learned a
Hmm.
lot, I'll tell you that. um so I let's just say I learned a lot.
Yeah.
So
I love
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
open your mom was. That's how I was saying that's so cute. Maybe I shouldn't have used that word because it's a little
No, no,
sexual,
no.
but me and Cedric always talk about that being open with your
Hmm.
children is
mhm,
so important.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You want them to hear things like that from you first, be
mhm,
Hmm.
Yeah.
exposed to different things
Hmm.
by you first. That way, when they see it in the world, they're just like, my mom, my dad taught me, told me about this. This is
mhm,
how I
Hmm.
handle this. And I
mhm,
feel like people who shelter their kids, it's a little rough when you wait till why are you waiting? Why are you acting like this isn't an intelligent young human being? We're
mhm,
teaching them to be wonderful adults. So why not teach them now? I'm not saying like go in detail and be
Building their
graphic, be
spirits.
sassy,
Hmm.
but build up this young human being. Their mind is so fresh. Like, why not let them know? Why would you want somebody else to teach them?
not just that. One of the biggest thing is, with our son Jackson. And I'm gonna say it like this: we have a code, and it's funny because the code is yoga.
Okay.
Okay, and it's funny because we had a foster kid for about, what, 6 months, Michelle.
Yeah.
So we had a foster kid for about 6 months. Um, their parents were going through some rough time, and he ended up staying with us for a while. And one day Jackson is like, "Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom. I'm gonna go and do yoga."
Mm.
And I was like, "Okay, cool." And the other kid was like, "I want to do yoga too." And I was like, "Ooh, how are we gonna explain this one?" So I called his mom real quick, and I said, "Hey, um, my son calls yoga masturbation." And he lets us know that he's gonna do yoga like that. We don't walk into his room or something like that. Um,
Mhm.
can I explain to your son what yoga is? And she's like, perfect, because my boyfriend, her boyfriend, is kind of his stepdad now, technically speaking. They haven't get married or anything like that. But she was like, it's perfect. Go ahead and explain it. Like that, I don't have to explain it because their dad is dead. So he can't explain it. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I explained to him what yoga was. And he's like, oh, I've been doing yoga for a long ass time. I was like,
Okay.
okay, that's an easy conversation to have then. So then it was a joke in the house where
And in
one,
public too.
huh?
And in public.
And in public, where one would say, I'm gonna do yoga. The other one would be like, I'm doing yoga already. I'm like, oh my god.
That's
Yes.
funny.
And we would have people who
Boys.
didn't know, random strangers, and like some lady, bless her heart, she was like, "Oh, like what kind of yoga do you practice? I go. Do you which yoga studio do you go to?" And these
I
two kids,
cannot.
these two preteens, are just over here snickering like, "Haha, she does yoga at the studio with in front of other people." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
So you know
That's
me, I
funny.
had to explain to her what yoga they were talking about, and she was like, "Oh, I use the yoga vibrator for that one." I was
Oh
like, I was not expecting that one to come back
Right.
from that lady in public
Mm-hmm.
too. She's like, I use the yoga vibrator for that one.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh
Everybody
Lord.
does yoga.
So yeah, I
You know
hope
what?
everybody does
Openness.
yoga.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Therese, I really thank you. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate
Yes.
this. A lot that we talked about, a lot that we've learned and we explored with each other. So I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate this and the opening dialogue. Um, Thank you for joining us today, Sharice. I appreciate this. Thank you.
yes, thank you all for having me. It was such a wonderful
Of course.
conversation, and it seems like we're all connected. I wanted to ask, when is everybody's birthday?
Oh, I was gonna say you want to guess, but okay, go
Yeah.
for it.
Okay, wait. Let me say this.
Let's.
Wait, let me say this. Um, we might tell you after we get off the thing because I don't know if everybody wants
Mm-hmm.
to tell their.
I mean, should we? We can start off
Or
with our
just the
astrology
month?
sign,
Zodiac
zodiac
signs.
sign.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Sagittarius.
Okay.
I am on the cusp. I'm a Pisces, but I'm Aquarius Pisces.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm a Leo Virgo.
Okay.
Cusp also.
Okay.
And I'm just a Taurus. You know that, as you know. Because I'm in the
Okay. And
middle of the
I'm a
month.
yeah.
hmm
Yeah. I'm a Aquarius. I just want to ask.
Ah,
Okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
damn, we got
awesome.
everybody in here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
Yeah.
different too.
I
Yes.
agree.
So let me say this. I always say it, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's that time. Michelle, is there anything else you want to say?
No, just thank you so much. It's been super awesome having you here, Sharice. I feel like I
Thank you.
learned so much. Like, there's
Yeah.
so many more questions I want to ask, but it's all good. Maybe next time in the future.
Yeah, yeah, and it's also good just to do your own research,
hmm
just to look up everything because I feel like that's what we all, although you all were asking me questions, I'm like, oh, I need to look into that deeper, because I'm not like, a professor on it or anything. It's just also just doing your own research and
Yeah.
understanding and, finding that
Mm-hmm.
individual path. Yeah.
Right.
Nate, anything else?
Thank you so much for joining us as a fellow spiritual being. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking about, the paths and the vibrations I've been meaning to look into, and
Hmm.
having you on the show, now I want to look into it further. So, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. It was great
Thank
having
you.
you.
Thank you.
Cherise, we have all learned a lot. So thank you
Mhm.
so much for being in the show. It was great. We have had a lot of people, and I think this is the one that we have talked the most of.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna say this not only to Cherise but also to our viewers. We're not always going to talk about sex. The show is called 96 in Reverse, so we might reverse it sometime and just talk about something different.
Hmm.
Um, but I do appreciate Cedric bringing Cherise and learning a lot about frequencies and numbers and vibration. Open the
Mhm.
spectrum for people who didn't know about it, that they can learn about it. And they can also, if they're in Orlando, they can go to a center and, visit Cherise and, ask questions and stuff like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we always say, 96 in reverse is over. Take care now. Bye.
96 in reverse.
It is 96 in reverse, and you can have the worst of my drink, and we can switch places. Now we